silver paint.
Illustrations by me.
So you all remember the story. I got a set of silver paint here. There's 6 different colors of silver. It was not what I had put on my list, but I guess the listing kind of moved. Someone picked it up for me. Wonderful. I'm very grateful. I will try them out. The pans are chunky. They're big. They're big. Let me show you. These are the pans here. They're very chunky. I mean, look how thick those are. Let me show you a regular pan. So here's a regular pan of watercolor. And you can see roughly they're a little bit taller with that little lip, that's all. But they're full to that lip on some of these. Some of them are a little lower, but most of them are to the... That's a chunky pan there compared to a full pan there. It's a lot of watercolor. Now the colors are cool silver, dark silver, pewter silver, pure silver, warm silver, and light silver. These here. So I'm gonna swatch them out. I've got a card here. I've got the colors. I'm gonna go from the white to the black paper. I've put them together. I taped them on the back, and that way I can see what they look like on both and see if they're usable. I have no idea. Sometimes silver paints get very light, but the way that they're set up, this one is the most interesting to me. This cool silver here, it looks, I don't know. I thought there was little hairs on these. You can see one over here, you can see one over here. They're not hairs, they're cracks. They're cracks in the paint, so they are very dry. You can't scrape them off with your nail. They just don't come off. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and give these a shot and see if I can do something with them that's somewhat resembles a painting. Let's see if I can do that. But first, I'm gonna swatch them out. Let me do that. Okay, so like I said, the most exciting one to me was the cool silver. I'm going to start with that one there. I don't know how long it takes to get these. Oh, they're like sparkling as they... Can you see that? Oh, wait, hold on. I've got to show you that. Okay. Watch this. It's sparkling as it gets blended. That's amazing. That's wonderful. I don't know. That's strange. It's interesting. Okay, so and I had to sit here and re-wet that pretty well, and that's exactly what I did. That's fine. Let's see what that cool silver looks like. Well, it looks like it's like a sparkling. Are they though they're shimmering paints. Okay, that's my fault. I had no idea they were shimmering paints. I thought they were just silver paints. I mean, I knew they were going to be reflective, but I didn't know that they were going to be like that. So okay, so I mean, you can see them a little bit more. The brush is not as wet. There you go. So you can see that, and they like shimmer as you put them down. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, but I guess I'm gonna find out. Let's see what they look like when they dry. That looks great on the black paper. Can you see that? That looks amazing. I don't have any pigment information whatsoever. I don't know what's gonna happen here. I'm gonna guess that they're not light fast. I'm not gonna say that they are. Now the mica inside. I don't know. What is mica light fast technically normally, or does it really depend on the color? Oh, that's a dark silver. Yeah, I can see that as a dark silver, and it shimmers a little bit too. Let me get that down on the bottom here. Let's see how that goes. Let's see if we can. Yeah, it's a dark silver. Okay. It's different enough so far. When I saw some of these reviews on this kind of stuff, I saw one person swatch. I did not see a review on it. I just saw someone swatch it, and the colors look identical next to each other. So, and I didn't want that to happen. So I'm glad that that's not what I'm finding. At least it does take a second to re-wet them. They're very firm. So you have to kind of maybe let them re-wet a second and just really scrub at them at first. I'm sure after the first time everything is just smooth from there on out. But oh, that's not a lot of water at all. Okay, so let's see here. All right, that's a little closer to the same here. Let's see. We'll get some more paint here and get it down here. That looks a much brighter on there. I gotta see how they are when they dry. That looks very bright compared to this. So these may be some black only colors for these. I mean, you can use them on there. I really do like that color. It's just a beautiful color. I'm not spraying these first because I want to see how long it takes them to re-wet when I scrub them. So, and it doesn't really take long. It just takes a second. So that's a good thing. And then now these look really close. So that pure, what they're calling a pure silver here, that looks really close to that other one. It's a little different, I guess, but I would say that that's pretty close. See what it looks like over here, because some that may be different. Yeah, see, it looks a little different here. But again, I don't know because I need to let it go for a minute and dry. That's what I really need. I got to see what it looks like when it dries. I think the most sparkly, silvery of the bunch is this one so far. Matter of fact, it's so reflective. I have to try and help you not see the reflection so that you can see. But on here you can see it's a beautiful blue color. I wish you can see that. I hope you can. I don't know if you can. The warm silver, I have been going for the warm colors. This almost looks like a buff titanium almost. At least that's what I'm seeing there. And it's kind of in that vein, I guess. I would say it's kind of there. Kind of in a buff titanium kind of way. Let's see how it is down here. Yeah, it's a little bit browner, I guess. Alright, let's see. We've got the last one is light silver, which to me just looks like an off-white. It looks like you were going to make a white paint, but you didn't. You just made it a little bit more of... Maybe this is more like the buff titanium. That's got much darker. So maybe this is like the buff titanium. And yeah, so that's a little bit more like a buff titanium, I guess. I do have to say that. That's closer to what I would expect. Now let me see if I can get this down here. And it looks cooler on here. It looks like a cooler gray on here. They're supposed to be all cool colors. That's what it says. It says 6 colors of bluish silver. And I'm not finding that at all. I don't see the blue except for this one. So I'm going to try and do this with no glare. Let me see if I can... I'll shut this light off and see if that helps. It's still very reflective. I can't not make it reflective. It's very difficult, and that's really dark. Hold on. So, let me see if I can just tilt this a little bit, and you can see the colors a little bit differently. Can you see that they're not as... Yeah, there you go. So it's a little less reflective there. You can see it, but when you put them all in the light, they just all look exactly the same. They don't look any different in the light because they just all reflect. And I'm looking at this saying in the white page I can see that they're different colors. Not so much down here. It looks like this is a different color. This is slightly different. There's a little bit of like a reddish hue around some of that. And then these are the same. They're the exact, or look, these two look exactly the same on this paper. And then this one is a little bit warmer, but you really have to look close. And then this one goes right back to with these two. So they're almost identical except for this one, which is a little bit more unique. Don't panic. Just whatever you do, don't panic. I'm going to try and fix this and make it usable on a palette. Let's see if I can do that. So I do have this extra little piece of paper here. Let me see if I can do something here. I've got some Paul Rubens paints here. I want to see if I can maybe make these look like something using... So here's what I do typically. Let me slide this over. That's almost dry. We'll look at it again. So don't pay attention. That was not even from this set. This is something different. But let me try something here and see if I can make this a little different. Okay, I have a mixing palette here, and I'm going to try and mix some of these on here with some paint, but let me get some colors here. I'm going to take this over here, this Perylene Maroon, which is what I said I liked over here. I'm going to take this color here. We're going to see if we can make like a slightly purplish, like a light purple, very nice color purple and see if that'll work. I don't know if it will. We're going to try it though. So I'm going to use that bluish one. These colors stain a little bit. Anyway, so I'm going to use this bluish here and see if I can take this, which is glistening again. So every time you re-wet it, it glistens a little bit. Mix it into here and then put it down on the page here. It's kind of, you're kind of making that purpley color. Oh, look at that. Did you see that? Oh, I don't know if it showed up. So the first of all, the color is, oh, you can't see it. It's too reflective. This might not be a good video. I'm not going to be able to show you the way that I want to. So anyway, up here is very pinkish and reddish, and then down here it got a little bit more of the silver. But let me see. Can you see that? I think it's just being reflective, but I hope not, because I want you to see this. Anyway, what I usually do is I put the color down first. So let me compare these two things. So first thing, let me just put this color here. Okay, so you can hopefully see the difference here. That color mixed like a reddish color, sparkly as anything. My goodness, it's if you like sparkling thing. Usually the only thing I really say, yeah, we can use the sparkly thing, is if you're trying to highlight an area. But let me tell you something else. It won't come out of the brush. It's just the brush is all sparkly, and I'm having trouble getting out of the brush. So I probably will not mix this with any of my my most favorite sets, I guess. If I use something like this, I don't mind if there a little bit gets in the paint. That's fine. But anyway, I want to try and avoid that. So usually I go back over the top of it and add the color into the white that I've put on the page when I use this this way. So you can see that it's very dark compared to this one. This one is darker than this one, and this one is much darker than this one. So it's very interesting. It looks pretty and all that wonderful stuff. I don't know if I can do an actual drawing with it. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I might have to do something different. I will try. I will do a painting with them and see if I can make heads or tails of anything. I'm going to do it on black paper, because the white paper, if you look at this, let me slide this. I'm a mess here today because I was not prepared for this. I thought it was going to be a lot different. So let me just move this over here. Move this over here. So you can't, this is not bad. It's not terrible. You can't see it. You just can't see it. Unless I turn it away, you can't see. I'm not going to use this paint. I don't think I can. I can use it for a highlight in a painting or something, but I don't think I can do a painting with it on camera because it's too reflective. You can't see it. That's crazy. I have never experienced anything like this before. So they're not bad. If you like something that's sparkly and wonderful, I think that you would enjoy this. So what I'm going to do instead is switch gears on you now and do something completely different. I'll do a different painting and we'll have a different conversation. I don't know. Let me see here. I'm gonna remember to do the second camera angle today. I've already got it in my head. I know what I'm doing today. So, but I don't think I could use this. I don't think you'll be able to tell the difference. It just looks like reflective paint, even with the color added in. Can you see that? It just looks reflective, doesn't it? You can't really see the color. Can you see the difference here? I'll have to review some footage and see if you can even see the difference on any of this. I don't know if you can. If you can't, that's fine. Maybe if you can, maybe I'll do it in a different video. Just to say, hey, this is I was able to see it and then I did it. So instead, I think I'm going to finish the last page in my sketchbook, in the Hahnemühle 100% cotton watercolor sketchbook. I will do my last drawing in there, and then I will do a flip through video in another video, which I love to do. I don't get to do them often because I don't finish books very often. But when I do, I love to do the whole flip through video and just show it to you. So maybe I'll do that in another video. I don't know if it'll be the next one or not. It'll depend. But I'll at least try to do that soon. Let's get into something else here. Let's do something different. Okay, so let's get one thing straight. First of all, these are not bad paints. These silver paints work just fine. I probably should have used at least a little bit of one of them in this video in some of the dark areas, but I chose not to. The thing is, in the video, I'm lighting this from so many different directions that it's all reflective. I can't, if I shut off the lights in the studio when I'm looking at it, I can see the difference. It's only on the camera that I can't see the difference, and that's because there's lights everywhere. I can't take the lights away. You won't be able to see it, so it doesn't matter anyway. It's just not good for camera work. But do I see the silver in it? Yes, I do. Can I tell the difference between them? For the most part, I can see the difference between some of them. The worst part of these paints, and this is why I had to throw away the swatch card. Let's put it that way. The worst thing about these paints is that the glitter comes off of them. Now, I have seen some sparkly paints before. I have used some sparkly paints before, and I've never had glitter come off of the paint. It usually, the mica kind of seals into the paint as it dries. That's all wonderful. Not these. When I say glitter paints before, I mean, I've used everything from the Arteza to the Daniel Smith, the minerals with that sparkle a little bit, like the Amethyst Genuine. I have never had glitter come off on my hand when I touch the painting, ever in my life. These, it comes off everywhere, it flows everywhere. I don't like that at all. However, they're pretty to put into something. If I was just going to draw something or paint something and put it behind glass, definitely I would use them. But not in my sketchbook, because that means every time I would flip the page, I'd have glitter on my hand. And if there's one thing that I absolutely cannot stand, it's glitter. Glitter is not allowed in my house. I think I've said the example before that my nephew was yelling at my sister-in-law because she got me a card one year for my birthday or something and there was glitter on it. And he's like, "Oh no, Uncle Pete hates glitter. You shouldn't have gotten that for him." That's exactly right. You should not have gotten that for me. I do not like glitter. It's something I just don't like. So because of that, these would never go in my sketchbook. Like I said, I might put them behind glass. If I was just going to do a standalone piece and put it behind glass, I may do that. I probably wouldn't have a problem with that. However, I probably would never do that anyway because I don't even know if these are light fast. I have no information on pigments. I took everything I had just to figure out what company these were, and I still don't know if I know. They're very generic, so I don't have any information on them. But overall, if you're someone who likes something to sparkle on your drawing or painting, these are definitely worth a try. There's nothing wrong with them. And they do show up on the page. You can see a little bit of the different color on a page if in the real life, just not in a studio with lights all around. So I switched gears and I said I want to finish this one page in this book because I want to do a flip through soon of it. And some of the drawings that are in this book you have not even seen yet because some of the drawings were put in as like Twisted Sense Tales, and so you haven't seen them yet. I have the painting part recorded, but I haven't done any of the actual videos. So you have not seen them. You will see them eventually a little bit, but anyway, let's get back into the drawing that I actually did, and I wanted to do something very similar to what I had in the page across from it, and it was the last page in the book, and I just said, you know what, I want to do something, but I'm going to use some different paints here. I used the Paul Rubens paints. There's nothing wrong with them. They're great sketchbook paints. I didn't have an issue with them. I gave the big bunch away, and I just kept a few for myself, and then they're fine. They're absolutely wonderful. They work well inside of a sketchbook. They worked fine on this page. They don't flow as much as the core. So usually I would not do this kind of a painting with them because, like I said, they don't flow as much. And one of the things I like about the core is as soon as they touch that water on the page, they just start flowing like crazy. That's one of my favorite things when I do these type of paintings. But that's okay. Don't worry about it. It still came out just fine. I did remember to put the second camera angle in there, which I'm very happy about because I remembered to do it and I reminded myself. That's fine and wonderful also. So I have a couple ideas for some videos that are coming up hopefully I will be able to do the things that I want to do, because sometimes I say, yeah, I got great ideas, and I go to do them and they're terrible, and I don't end up enjoying them. So I usually either it. Now I don't mean that it's a bad painting. That's what I don't mean that. I don't care if it's a bad painting. It's still going in a video. I mean, if I can't do the thing I was trying to do, sometimes I just scrap that and I don't do that thing and I try and do it a different way or whatever. But this is something I love doing, these paintings. I love doing these dark area paintings. And I'm using that. Let me tell you, this white pen so far has been beautiful. And I've been practicing very hard with it. And I have been able to get some very fine detail. When I first did this, some of you said, hey, do you really recommend this? And I said, well, not for fine detail. This is not the pen for you if you're looking to do some very fine lines. But I've been practicing with this, and I can tell you, you'll see in here, some of those lines, some of the detail lines are very fine, and you can control it pretty well. And I haven't had to script. I did, right at the top of the page, I had a little bubble of paint come out. Not a big deal. I was able to wipe it off before it dripped on the page. But it did, you have to keep an eye on that. So I wasn't squeezing it either. So I don't squeeze the pen as I use it. It's just that I was using it and all of a sudden there was a little bubble at the top. And I was okay, so I got to wipe that off and then go back and everything was fine. It has not dried out on me, not even a little bit. It is soaking wet. It is fine right now. So not even that. So it's lasted a little while. I got it. Well, you saw the video. That's when I did it. So you figure 2 weeks before you saw the video is when I actually made that video. It was right at the beginning of January, and it was fine. Everything worked out wonderfully. And I really like the effect it has on these paintings because it's almost like I can get some dry brush area, I can get some solid area, I get a little bit of sketchy thing. It's nice. I really am enjoying this white pen. So again, I will link it, and hopefully if some of you, let me know, because a bunch of you said you were going to get it. So please let me know if you've bought that pen. Has it worked for you the way that it's working for me? Do you enjoy it? Is it good for you? I think it's a wonderful pen. I think it works great. Now I think the Pentel Pocket Brush is the one I'm using today for the black marks. And I think that one has just about lived its life. The bristles on the front are all frayed and, it's good for stuff like this a little bit, but it's also, the feed is not feeding as much. But I put pigment ink in these. This pen has probably lasted me, I want to say probably 4 or 5 years, and it's starting to not flow as well with the ink in it. And that's fine. Sometimes that happens. It is pigment ink. It's going through a feed to the bristles, and I get that. I would never do that in a fountain pen. Never, ever. But in these brush pens, I do use the pigment ink. I use in this one in particular, always use the P.H. Martin's Bombay India Ink Black. That's what I always use in these. I have the other brush pen that I always put that Noodler's Polar Black in. Again, I don't care that says it's a fountain pen ink. I would never do that again. I have ruined many brushes with that ink. Not brushes, pens. I've ruined many pens with that ink. It says, oh, it'll help it flow better. It's a liar. It does not only does it not help it flow better, it sucks it up and it stops it up, and then it doesn't work anymore ever with any ink. So I would never use that in a fountain pen ever. But this particular brush pen, yeah, I would probably use it in this one too, because it's a brush pen. I don't have a problem with doing it. I've never had a problem with getting a flow out of a brush pen unless it's been used for many years and it's time to maybe switch it off, which means I will take the other brush pen that I just got from right around that same time, and it has that special design on the outside. It's a limited edition, whatever that means. I've been seeing that limited edition probably for about a year, so I don't know how limited it is. But I'm going to use that probably soon and just continue using that from now on. But I do like these Pentel Pocket Brush pens. They have a fine point, and I really like that. So you can get very, very fine lines from that, and it works very well. And speaking of fine lines, these people popping up on the screen here, they walk fine lines with me all the time. We have to walk that very fine line. But between entertainment and crossing lines. That's what we do here. So you can thank them for that. And thumb up the video if you are going to maybe give this a shot. And maybe these silver things, if you like them, you're going to try them. Hopefully you do. You can also thumb up the video just because you want to thumb up the video. It doesn't have to be because you're going to use the thing that I'm using. You could just say, yeah, thumb up the video because it was nice and I enjoyed it. That's always wonderful to hear too. All right, let me show you something that is only one thing. It's a short thing, but I will show it to you. I love this Perylene color here. That's not the right color, is it? Is it the right color? I don't know if it's the right color. I think the thing is upside down, isn't it? You donkey. It's upside down. It's supposed to be this way. Oh, why do I even exist? Okay, how have I not stuck my finger in a light socket? If you would like to join our community, go to illustrationsbypete.com. You can come in, you can put your own artwork on the site and promote it. You can find some inspiration in the free reference photos. You can just use them however you want in your artwork. You do not need to credit me. Or you can come into the forums and talk to some people and maybe give some advice and maybe find a little bit of information that helps you. So come check us out. All right, that's about it for me. I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next one.